I'm Alan Weiss, and this is The Writing on the Wall. Welcome back to The Writing on the Wall. I'm Alan Weiss, and I am making predictions for you. This episode is predictions. You are going to find, for example, virtual customer experiences. The car you see me drive in and out of, which we change from time to time over these years, is created on a configurator. Rolls-Royce has a configurator, as do other companies. And you sit and you watch the car being built according to the seat color you choose, the seat belts you choose, the carpeting you choose, the colors you choose. The only thing you can't touch is the engine, the only thing. So consequently, there's no other car like that in the world. It's unique to me. You're going to see this for clothing. You're going to be able to see yourself in jeans or shoes or a shirt or a jacket on your own body. And you will configure it, and that's how people will do their shopping. In fact, my second prediction is you're going to find an overwhelming remote sales and service and upsell environment. Overwhelmingly remote. I'll talk more about this later, but people will not have to go to stores to try things on anymore. And there'll be very easy return policies as well. This is what Amazon does. It's what Hubbard Shoes does so well on the internet. These are Hubbard shoes I have on right now. If they don't fit when you get them, they have a label and postage, you send them back. Mission will dominate strategy. I wrote a new book, it came out a couple of months ago, called Sentient Strategy. And my belief is that this vision, mission, values, mission, vision, whatever it is, mantra, has to stop. The key thing is mission. Raison d'etre. Why are we here? You start with why, not what or how. And when you determine why you're here, you know, Merck delivers the greatest in scientific research against the greatest areas of human health need. That's why they're here. You don't join Merck to get rich, you join Merck to take part in that. And so, the vision will simply be a reflection of, in a year from now, for example, how well your mission is being fulfilled. And I'm tired of values that are pre-printed somewhere, and the fourth value is always, we respect our employees, while managers are beating the employees in front of the signs on the wall. You're going to find that hybrid workplaces predominate. Clearly, people aren't going to go back to the office full-time in full measure. There'll be exceptions, of course, but there'll be people in the offices, people at home, and people exchanging. Hybrid will be the name of the game, and leaders, managers, executives will have to learn how to better deal with this. I remind you that if you take the 50 to 60,000 commuting cars every day to Boston that go up on 95 and 93 here, and every other major American city, and replace them with electric cars, which I doubt will happen, but if you do, you still have 50 to 60,000 cars, and that's going to stop. I do think, however, you'll find workplaces where people go that will have elder care and child care and pet care and a nurse on duty and so forth, because it's less expensive to do that than to have to deal with people who have to split their time and make sure they're supportive of the other people and pets in their lives. Elections will become remote. I know everybody's scared of the Russians taking over the computers or ChatGPT dictating the next election. I don't think so. I think elections will be remote, we'll have the technology to verify it, and we'll have a much higher turnout as a result. That will shift things considerably. I also think there will be a certification of validity on all things written, recorded, spoken, filmed, whatever. And so on something like this, in a couple of years, you'll see the certification at the bottom, meaning that nobody took my image and faked my voice and made me say things I never intended to say. In fact, I wasn't really here. So like the old Good Housekeeping seal of approval, you'll find this veracity certified so we know it's not disinformation. You're going to find factory automation to the extreme. Believe it or not, one of the two biggest prosciutto is an Italian meat that is superb. One of the two biggest prosciutto manufacturers is here in Rhode Island, and we wangled a tour. The security is greater than getting into the Federal Reserve in New York, which was one of my clients. And it's automated and robotized. So a lot of these robots take these meats and move them around the plant to various spots to cure over about 400 days. Over a year they do this automatically. And there are other more sophisticated, they call them smart robots, that actually cut the meat when it's ready to be cut. And humans are just cutting the very fine details on some of the meats for special orders. That's going to become predominant in all phases of business. There's an old story about a huge factory, and every day just a man and a dog enter it, that's all. And finally an observer says to somebody else at the coffee shop, "What's going on over there? Why just the dog and the man?" They said, "Well, the dog is there. The dog is there to make sure the man doesn't touch anything." So, well, why is the man there in the first place? He said, "To feed the dog." That's the factory of the future. I think that the CIO, the Chief Information Officer, or whatever that person is called, will become the star. That person can no longer be simply a technologist. That person has to be an expert in how to enable and how to strategize, in how to make the information exchange get to the right place at the right time as speedily and accurately as possible. But this person will be the star because it's going to be all about information. If you go on Amazon today, they say, given your history, they say implicitly, here's some things you might be interested in. It's interesting, they refer me to my own books, but okay, that's another story. So the CIO as star, I think, will occur in the very near future. I think that virtue over talent is going to undermine performance unless we change it. We're focused on virtue signaling. We're focused on being virtuous. We're not focused enough on finding talent, no matter what the origin of that talent, the color of that talent, the background of that talent. And we have to make sure that talent always outs, because that's what drives things forward. Legacy will no longer be critical. That is, colleges are going to stop admitting people just because their fathers and mothers and grandparents went there or endowed the university. And the same thing in organizations. That kind of nepotism will probably continue in the entertainment business, where you still see really no talent kids get in because of who their parents are. But I think the legacy favoritism is going to end. 3 more things. First, AAA. You've heard of AAA, but you think it's what, the American Automobile Association? AAA is ability, agility, and availability. Ability, agility, and availability, that's what's going to rule. Organizations that have great ability through their people, organizations that have great agility and can shift as things change in an increasingly volatile world, and organizations that have availability. I'm just tired of hearing about, there's a supply chain problem. I couldn't get lychee martinis because they told me they had a supply chain issue. Well, I said, how come the bar down the street has them? And then finally, I lied, one more. Dogs will continue to develop and provide unconditional love, although a lot of people will no longer deserve it.